Welcome to the Startups Arabia podcast, everyone. My guest today is Eman Haylooz, and it's a pleasure to host her today because I am a lover of the industry she works in, which is the book industry. Eman is the founder of Abjjad, which is she's going to talk about it, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but it's supporting and giving joy to over 1.5 million Arab readers across the region and helping them as they enjoy books together and consume books together and helping the publishers in the process. I'm not going to go into her, her story. She's going to tell us more about it. But it's a pleasure to host you today, Eman. Welcome.
Thank you, Ali. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Looking forward for the conversation.
Wonderful. So maybe we can start by, in a few minutes, if you can tell me the story of how you came into this world of startup.
Oh well, it's a long story, but to cut it short, I would say that like almost 10 years ago or more, like 11 years ago now, um, I heard about an accelerator, a backslash incubator called Oasis 500. They started in Jordan and they were giving like seed investments for people that has ideas. But what's better than the seed investment that they used to do like something called uh لا نسيت ايش اسمها camp camp
A camp, yeah.
camp something like
Accelerator
that.
boot camp or something, yeah.
Yeah, the boot camp. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. The boot camp, which
yeah.
is like 7 days of being there from 8 a.m. till almost 8 p.m. Listening to other people, other entrepreneurs, learning how to do a financial model, how learning what is a business model, learning everything about how to turn your idea into an actual business. So after those 7 days, I was like really amazed by everything that happened there, and it was like a completely different thing. I didn't know the word entrepreneur back then, so it was all so new to me. And they told us that if anyone is ready to pitch, we're open for pitching like after a week after the boot camp, where you can prepare your pitch deck, you can prepare your financial model, and you can do all the market research that we taught you how to do. طبعا, of course, in the middle of those 7 days, there was a lot of homework to do. So I was talking to publishers and talking to bookstores and trying to get some market research about my idea. And I decided to just jump in and to do the pitch right after this boot camp. And I did the pitches were like 3 stages. If you pass the one, you go to the next one. The first one was with the team of Oasis 500 at first, then CEOs of some companies in Jordan, and then the final would be with the CEO of Oasis 500. I passed the 3 stages, and exactly in May 2012, they sent me an email telling me that you were accepted and you're gonna get the seed investment and let's start. So I had a full-time job back then. I quit and I jumped in the whole thing. So this was the absolute start of how the journey started, and from there, all the regular stuff of the MVP and testing with the users, fundraising, talking to investors, till the stage that we reached right now, which is in December 2020. We were able to secure our Series A of $1 million.
Great. So can you tell the listeners more about what Abjad does?
So Abjad right now is not Abjad 10 years ago. Abjad right now has become, if we want to also cut it short for everyone to understand the business model and what we do, I like the description of the Netflix for the Arabic books. So it's a subscription based platform that provides unlimited access to Arabic ebooks for a monthly or an annual subscription. So any user can download the application, they start their monthly subscription, and they have access to a growing library of Arabic ebooks.
Okay. And I mean, you were emphasizing the Netflix aspect of it, but
Yeah.
what about the reviews and the social aspect? Is that still there, or is that not so dominant?
It is there, but the difference is that when we started, the core business was about the reviews and ratings and quotes and sharing and the social aspect. We were like the Goodreads of the Arabic books. And then when we grew and started to understand the market needs more, we understood that there's a bigger gap in the market than the reviews and the ratings and all these stuff. The bigger gap was that people don't have legal access to Arabic ebooks. And the publishing scene was totally pirated. You can find like millions of PDFs that you can download online, and everyone is sort of consuming this in a crazy way that led for the whole publishing industry to be at risk. So a legal alternative had to be there where people would pay for this digital content and to kind of educate the Arabic user that there's a big difference between a PDF and an ebook. Uh, and in the West, they were like 20 years uh, ahead of us when it comes to digital content and audio content and all that. So it started as a community of people to review and rate, but it grew to become more focused to provide the ebook. And at the same time, on the side, you can also review and rate and follow other users and stuff like that. So it's still there, and people still write reviews and rate books, and they use Abjad to understand the buzz around the book before reading the book. But the core business has became providing the ebook.
Interesting. So, when you say the core business, do you mean in terms of obviously this is where the revenue comes from, but
Yeah,
do you
of
mean the
course.
core business in terms of the value? Because I mean, if you were, let's hypothetical thought experiments here. So, if you were to take out the review aspect and the buzz and all that stuff about the
Yeah,
books and
yeah.
discussions, would the other part be as strong or would it be weaker, in your opinion?
It would be weaker, of course. Now, building the community first, as tough as it was when it comes to generating revenue, because that business model we could not generate any kind of revenue from.
Yep,
So, and we can't run a company without revenues and depending on just having traffic and users and fundraising.
of
So
course.
it has been. I don't think Abjad would have had a better journey than it was, although it was tough. That we started with the community with all the tough part of not generating revenue and depending on funds and all that. But because Abjad was like really focused on the community of readers, when we kind of pivoted, or I would like to say added the ebook aspect, it kind of was a competitive edge that we never thought of, like precisely. Like we did not think about building a community and then building the ebook. It just happened within the journey and the understanding of the market and the limitation of all the resources that we had. But now that we have it that way, now we can see the value and it is paying back for all the tough part that we were handling at first with the community.
Yeah, it's weird how life works. And uh, I
Yeah,
mean, let, let me ask you. I mean, the community aspect, you started with it first,
yeah,
um, and it was going well in terms of that the community was growing. There was engagement. There was all that
yeah,
stuff. But I have a feeling. I mean, that you, as a founder, you were suffering because there was no revenue, and
absolutely.
you were kind of yeah, exactly. So I mean, it seemed to be going well, and you have all this maybe press and awards and things like that. But you know that at the end of the day, as a startup, you need the money. It's not working. Uh, so how did you come to this conclusion that you need to add this feature? I mean, how did that happen? How did that?
No, when also when we had the community at first, we knew that the community alone wouldn't generate, and we had a business model in mind. But the business model that we had in mind after testing it with the with the clients, the clients were the publishers actually. We
Hmm.
had in mind to create a marketplace where every publisher would have their own shop inside this community, and they would handle the whole print book orders that they get. So it's an e-commerce for print books within the community. So it becomes a marketplace. And to solve all the dilemma of the having the book, or is it available, is it in stock, is it out of stock, and all this stuff, we would have the publisher to be the owner of this, and he would deliver the book to the user. And of course, we would empower them by doing integration with the shipping companies, the payment companies, all these kind of stuff. But they have to be the owners and the ones who would manage this shop. After, it didn't take me much to understand how much the publishers aren't willing to do that. Simply, I went to Beirut. I talked to the top 10 publishers. I told them about this idea, and no one really wanted to, or even had the capacity to manage a shop and do all the order things and stuff like that. And the community, actually, they brought our attention to the need of ebooks. So the community started to ask about how can we read this book online. They thought we are yet another PDF website. So when we tried to explain to them we're not a PDF website and it's a community, and that the user themselves brought our attention into the need of having ebooks. But of course, the challenge would be, would they pay for that? So we shifted the pitch for the publishers, and I started to talk to publishers about ebooks. I found a lot of resistance at first, but a couple of them were so ready for that step, and they were looking forward for that. So I signed with the low-hanging fruits, which were ready now. And also, I didn't want to focus on the small publishers. I wanted to get someone big who's ready. And this is what I did. That I got a big publisher who was ready at the moment, and we kicked off with them, and then it's a snowball, one publisher after the other. The resistance became like a bit easier, but it took years for that to happen. And we started with a business model that also didn't work, which was because the PDF was for free, and we were too afraid to introduce payment into the thing. So we decided to do an ebook with ads, where the ads would pay for us and the publisher.
Mhm.
Of course, it didn't work. It got a lot of traffic, but almost nothing in revenues. Like
Yep.
the ad based model is so tough to get it right. And those who did are really huge, like Facebook and Google, and it's like big companies. Yeah. So this is where we started talking to a lot of people, mentors, people who worked in this scene, people who understand all this. And from all collection of information and from our research, like Spotify and Netflix and all these kind of apps, they also have all the stuff pirated. I mean, music is for free everywhere, but yet they made people pay. It's because of multiple things: the user experience, the convenience, being affordable. But a subscription was like something like really psychologically easier for a user. So we shifted into the subscription model, and it worked. It worked in 2017. So 2012 till 2017, you're talking about 5 years of suffering and failing and trying and failing, and everyone would think that things are going well because we were taking awards, and there's a lot of word of mouth, and people would think that this is a very successful company. It was a failing company. So in 2017, we started to see the first subscription revenue, and it was growing. So this is when it worked, and till now the model is exactly the same, but we're just optimizing and enhancing and growing more.
Yep. Yep. And the beauty of this story, I mean, it has several aspects to me. I mean, one of it is the internal kind of behind the scenes suffering that that that's there
Yeah.
to while on the stage everything looks wonderful to everyone, and maybe some people are envying you.
Yeah.
The other is communication and the importance of really listening to your customers. So both negatively and positively. So you go into the publishers and listening to the fact that they are just not accepting, the way you want to do things, and doing that. So that's the negative listening, so to speak, or listening to the negative feedback. And then there's the on the other side, the people who wanted the books and were telling you, hey, why don't you give me the PDF? Just give me the PDF here. I'm interested. So that's kind of the positive listening. Okay, what does
True. True.
the
What do
market
they really
want?
want? How can
Yeah,
we how can we make them pay for that? Yeah.
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 And lastly, there was what I really the thread that's like there is always you're always like as a startup we want the easy solution, so to speak. So we're just gonna let the marketplace with the publishers, they're gonna do everything basically, and we're
Yeah.
just gonna
Yeah.
count the
Yeah.
money and do that. Okay, that's not gonna work. Okay, let's try something else, but also we'll put the ebooks, but then we'll have ads, and that's just going to do, and we won't have to manage subscriptions and do all that,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
multiple that's not going to work. So really the hard path is usually the
The
path,
way to
the
go.
way, yeah, the way to go. And we just waste so much time, knocking on other. Okay, let's take that easy door. Oh God, it's closed. Oh, let's go to that end, etc. And it's just a real cool story for me of perseverance and persistence and just seeing it through to the end. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that first few dollars that came in 2017 were a really beautiful
They were
feeling.
like, oh yeah. They were like seeing the impossible happening. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's sorry, a bit of a long commentary on that story of yours. So you maybe going back to the first thing you told me about how you came into this world. I mean, you were like you graduated computer science, you were a quality control, and then a business process kind of a person, very structured stuff, and then you went into digital marketing, and you're a management consultant, and KPMG, a global company. You've only been there
Yeah.
for 3 months, and you go to this boot camp, and then you decide to resign and start Abjad.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what was your thinking at that time, and what were you feeling at the time? How did you convince
Actually,
yourself?
also يعني life brought me برضه I didn't think about it and I didn't like really look for it, but when I graduated from my computer science, that was almost 2005, I think. uh it was like the golden age in Jordan for the IT companies, the software houses يعني.
Yep.
And I worked with people where the CEO back then, when I joined, he was 28 years old. So I was kind of exposed to entrepreneurship and startups without knowing the words and without knowing that I'm actually doing that. So I was exposed to this, and I worked with multiple local companies where also the founders were young and they were like doing something out of nothing from scratch. So I kind of get used to and loved the culture of young people doing stuff from scratch. And I was never really exposed to the corporate world because خلص, life brought me there. That was by pure luck. I applied to multiple companies when I graduated, like any fresh grad, and this is where life took me. Uh, and then I got this offer from KPMG. It was for the first time to get an offer from a corporate, a big company. I didn't know what do I feel about it. Like the whole interviewing process was like I suffered from only the interviewing process. The interviewing took like 3 months or something. While in my first job, like the CEO, who was 28 years old, he sat with me for like a couple of hours, and he was like, "We're ready to give you the." You know how entrepreneurs are. خلاص,
Yep. Yep.
there was a click. and he knows that I'm the right person, and yalla, this is the offer, yalla sign, and تعالي بكرة, come tomorrow
Yep.
to work.
Yep.
So versa, and then I worked with multiple other startups, and it was exactly the same. Like it's a culture where things are open. They can listen to me. I can wear multiple hats. I can do many things. I remember that that I worked with a startup, and one of the things that I did is actually fire someone in their team because they didn't want to fire them, so they delegated that to me. يعني I'm used to the whole chaos of startup world. I'm used to things that are impossible, that to make it possible. Hey. So when I interviewed with KPMG, one interview after the other, it was a turn off for me. I mean, interviewing process alone was a turn off, and I kind of forced myself to go there because it was good for my career. It was paying a lot of money, and it was the direct manager, someone that I liked and I wanted to learn from. But when I was there, I was like, oh my god, this is so not me. So one day after the other, it was like literally killing my soul. And when I heard about Oasis 500, and another startup also was interviewing me at the same time when I was in that corporate, so I realized a day and how much my when your eyes turns into a heart when you talk to someone. It's when I talk to it's those people that were interviewing me, and they were a startup. I was so happy, so energized, and when I go back to the corporate world, I'm just dying. For I realized that there's maybe more into life than the career and the big corporates and they need big salaries and stuff like that, and maybe just go after what makes me shining. Okay, I suffered from that decision, of course, financially, because the startup, I didn't know that I would be sacrificing that much financially when I started Abjad. But at the same time, what I know is that even if I didn't start Abjad, I wouldn't have ever be able to continue working in a corporate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was the journey of the corporate. There's so many jumps from one career to another, from quality control to process engineer to marketing to stuff like that. I was a trainer at some point. I
Yep.
gave training
Yeah.
courses because my MBA was in total quality management, and I kind of gave training courses in that thing. That reflects my character. I'm someone who likes to do many stuff and to
Mm-hmm.
learn many things. The other day I was discussing this with one of my friends, and I was telling her, and was the first time to understand myself. Actually, when you talk to a friend, you kind of understand
Yep.
yourself more. That I'm more of a horizontal person, not a vertical person. So I'm so not interested in going vertical in a certain aspect of work, but I'm so interested in going horizontal and doing everything. In Abjad,
Connecting it.
I did everything in Abjad. From customer care, I was a customer care agent. I was the social media admin. I was the one who's raising funds from investors. I was a product manager. I was brainstorming with the UX. I do almost everything except for writing code.
Yep. Yep.
So really,
Yeah.
I'm more of this horizontal person who likes to do stuff. So even when I was at quality control, I used to be curious about the business part of the whole thing. So I used to enjoy going to the client and analyzing what the client wants. In the software houses, you're building
Yep.
a product for a certain client. It's not a product for C or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to enjoy all this. So wherever they want me, I would do it. I would just do the job, and I would also enjoy it. I'm really not that one person. When someone
Yeah.
asks me what's your bio, when you ask me what's my bio, I really have a hard time to explain who I am and what do I do. I
Yep.
do everything. So
Yeah. You like
yeah,
doing different things and new things all the time.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, exactly. And I like to understand all the aspects. In Abjad, I've been doing the marketing and the product and the customer care and the sales and
Yeah.
even with the publishers, I like to understand how they do their work. So I have curiosity. So that's why I do everything.
Yeah. Okay, so going back to the beginning of the story, so to speak, you come up with the idea, you go through the pitch competition, and you win, you make it to the final, and
Yeah.
here you are. And as you mentioned, you do everything in the company except for coding. I mean, so you don't know how to code. So how do what do you do next? How do you look for a technical co-founder? Where did you start with that?
Oh my God, that's tough. Amjad, that's very tough. The technical part is all is a very tough thing, especially when you're not the technical person as a founder.
Yeah.
At the beginning, what I reached for, of course, one of my friends, because I used to work in a software house, so I have a lot of friends who are software engineers. So one of my friends was working with another startup, and I told him that I've just got this. Would you like to quit and join? And he was like, "Yeah, I will." That was Nabil,
Yeah.
and he's also a shareholder. I mean, he has shares in the company, and he's the one who built it from scratch, like literally from scratch, everything from the servers, the database. We brainstormed together, and he was on his own writing code. Got the first MVP. He worked until 2016. He actually wrote the back end for the whole subscription, but he
Mm.
wasn't there to see the subscription working because
Oh,
he
that's
left
sad.
16. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in 2016, he told me that he wanted to explore other opportunities. And he kind of خلص, the startup thing got really into him, and it's crazy. And
Yeah. It's very
I
stressful.
it's very stressful, and you really sacrifice a lot, especially in the beginnings. Now, when you have a team and things are getting growing, وهيك, it's a different kind of stress. But
Yep.
the stress at the beginning is really all sacrificing everything about yourself, financially and inner peace and social life and like everything. So he was kind of خلاص يعني he wants to go to another journey and start something else, and this the whole stressful thing is stress from startups is not for him anymore. So but it took him like 6 months of leaving, because he wanted to make sure that the subscription model is out and that he is leaving Abjad in good hands. So he looked for alternative, and he looked for someone to handle, and he did a handover for that person,
Yep.
with the videos recorded, and till now we are 2023 and we still use the videos that he recorded,
Nice.
because the
Uh-huh.
whole back end is him, and we kind of built on what he built. Until now, of course, he was the one who interviewed our tech lead, that is currently our tech lead,
Mm-hmm.
all the tasks and all the reviewing, and يعني خلاص, once you are a technical co-founder in a company, you're always this technical co-founder, and I always get back to him when things are when we want something like really huge to work on. So
Yep.
till this date, he still interviews with us and stuff.
Nice.
Um, and
So
then from
yeah.
one software engineer to
Yeah.
another to another to another, till now, alhamdulillah, we have a product team. We have a tech lead who has three other software engineers, and only recently, actually, we have a CPO, a head of product, who's working with them.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah,
It's lovely to see, especially looking back at the story.
yeah.
So another thing from the beginning of the story is, I mean, as you mentioned, I mean, the community is so strong. It's so important strategically for Abjad. How did you get those first users,
Oh
those
my
initial,
God, that
like,
was.
how did you do that?
uh, يعني I don't have one word to describe it other than absolutely crazy. I mean, what I did back then, uh, for sure, like 100% sure, I would never ever be able to do it again. It was an energy that was
Uh-huh.
at that time, and I just wanted this so badly. And I know something about myself that when I want something, I would do anything to get it, like anything. So I literally did anything, like everything and anything. Uh, like literally getting
Tell
the
us some of those things.
the advocates, the readers, the heavy readers in the community of reading. I used to search for them by name, one by one. على Goodreads, on Facebook, on Twitter. Back then لسه ما كان في we didn't have Instagram and TikTok and Snapchat. So
Yep.
it's kind of easier to know where people are
Yeah.
because there aren't like really
That many
any
places to look.
it's either Facebook or Twitter. It's
Yeah.
there's nothing else. But
Mhm.
other things were like communities that you can find on Goodreads, and there are the communities of people who read PDFs. So there's like the forums and stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, I used to get the heavy readers and to search for them, add them on Facebook or Goodreads or Twitter, and drag into conversations with them, and explain to them who I am, what am I doing, what is Abjad, and why. Pitch for them as if I'm pitching for investors, and to get them. يعني uh, me and Tamim, we agreed that the date that we're gonna get Abjad running was 18th of June 2012. 18th of June 2012.
It's very
Uh,
quick.
yeah. Oasis gave us the money 1st of May 2012, and we got Abjad out in 18th of June 2012. So it took us exactly a month and 18 days.
Wow.
During this month and 18 days, while Tamim was coding and getting the website up and running, I was building the community of Abjad on Facebook and Twitter and Goodreads, and telling everyone that on that day, we want to all sign up and start writing reviews. So on the 18th of June, we had like, I don't know what was the number back then, but let's assume it was like 5,000 users. But the good thing
Wow.
is people started writing reviews and ratings on
Yeah,
this day.
wonderful.
And then I started to, I wanted to make the network bigger. So I started to hire like community managers to talk to other people. And I was literally on Twitter was, by the way, the best user acquisition tool back then. I used Twitter to headhunt authors and readers, and to make them retweet us. And whenever we got a retweet from مثلا big author, I remember that Morid Barghouti, when he did a retweet for us, we got like
Wow.
3,000 users on the website.
He's such a
And
lovely person. He was. Yeah.
Allah yarhamu. I love
Allah
him,
yarhamhu.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
actually he was a good friend of
Same here.
mine towards
Really?
the end. I finally met him and we
Wow.
became friends, and
That's beautiful.
I
Wow.
absolutely enjoy every
Lucky
single.
you. Yeah.
And
And also, of course, his wife. I mean, they're both
Sure, my
incredible
favorite,
authors.
of
Yeah.
course. And we
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
لا, it's okay. Things that are illegal to do now were somehow legal to do back then. هلا ال APIs تبعون Twitter and Facebook, they don't allow you to write on behalf of the user whenever you like.
Yep.
Back then the APIs weren't that protected.
Nice.
So whenever a user would sign up, he would automatically tweet and Facebook on his Facebook account أنا الآن من القراء على أبجد. I am now a reader on Abjad, with a link
Yep.
for Abjad. So this is why I wanted the advocates. لأنه when
Yep.
one reader who has a lot of followers on Twitter would tweet that, his followers, يعني literally what we call now influencers marketing. I used to
Yep.
do it for, that's it,
Yep.
for free,
Yep.
through spamming people and spamming users and headhunting users and begging
Yeah.
users to read about us and begging users to write reviews about us and stuff like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it spamming, to be honest. I'd call it like really pitching and really convincing and communicating and working
Spamming
on
because
it.
spamming is like, I am now a reader on Abjjad. This is so illegal nowadays. No
Yeah,
API
yeah.
allow you to do that ever.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and everything that you do on Abjad used to reflect on their Facebook and Twitter, like writing a review, rating, writing a quote. You can progressing in reading. You can all see them reflecting on Facebook and Twitter if
Yep.
they have
Yep.
signed up through Facebook and Twitter.
Right. And it just shows the importance of, when there's a new platform and the platform is growing, you can sometimes have opportunities that you won't have later on. So you better
Yeah.
ride
Yeah.
that API wave till the end and make the best use of it.
True.
And I think the core lesson I'm learning from you here is the importance of going to the market and having a way to do that. Just starting with 5,000 users, because a lot of, especially like technical co-founding teams, what they would have done is they're just going to build the product. We're going to make it a great product. We're going to think of all the cool features people are going to love, blah, 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 blah. And, and put it out there and then, hey, where are the people? You didn't ask anybody here. How should they hear about you? So
unless you're building like a really, حتى if it was a purely tech product, even if it was a purely tech product, you still need, I think you need 2 to 3 co-founders. You need the technical, you need the business and the sales, which was me and still me. And maybe a third, I would say maybe someone, the creative person. Yeah.
For when you say the creative person, what do you see as their role?
The look and feel, or maybe because that was my pain back then. The look and feel of the brand, the messages, the whole whole thing.
The design-oriented person, so to speak.
Yeah. The design-oriented person. Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and some, of course, products are really lucky in the magic, that they have so much product market fit. The design can really suck, and it's still, people use it and things like that.
Yeah, but you need
most people don't.
If you chose that, well, mostly you're not. Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
So I want to kind of dive a bit into the business model aspect, of what you're doing, and your business is dependent on doing deals with a lot of publishers, large and small, and you're a small startup at the end of the day. How do you handle the work and complexity of setting up all these deals and doing that?
It was the same state of mind that I had when I created the community of users. Like, it takes a lot of lobbying and a lot of talking, and you need to go big first. It was so easy to sign with all the long tail publishers, but we didn't want those because those have the books that no one would read. So we knew that. And at the same time, there's something in the Arabic publishing scene, it's very fragmented. For the English language, you would like see 2-3 publishers that owns like 80-90% of the whole publication. There's a lot of capitalism in the world of the English language publishing scene. But in the Arabic world, it's very fragmented. So the top publishers would be like around 100, not 2 or 3. So and also the Arab world, when you target the user in Saudi Arabia, it's totally different taste than the Egyptian user, and then the users in North Africa, and the Levant users, and the Arabic users living in the US. There's a totally different taste here and there. So you can't like really have 2-3 publishers and you would think that would work for everyone. You need to have like at least 10 publishers for the taste of Levant, and 10 other publishers for the Saudi market and the Gulf market, and totally different for the Egyptian market.
Yep.
So what I did is exactly the same. Is it took me a lot to sign with the first 4 or 5 big publishers, and from there, I sort of go to the next publisher and tell them that I have this publisher, and I have that, and you need to kind of know who do they trust.
Okay.
So don't mention a publisher that they hate, like they would hate you,
Yep.
and build like a good success case study with a big publisher, and see that you're dealing with him in a very transparent way, very ethical way, and you're adding value to them, so they would talk about this. لأنه the publishers and the publishing scene, they, like any other industry, they all talk to each other a lot. They're friends. They go to like 15 different book fairs all around the year together. So they're always talking, and they're always discussing stuff. So you need to maintain a good word of mouth. So what I did is that I really, really, really put like impossible kind of effort to sign with the top 10 or 20 publishers. Like one of the say effort, one of the publishers was like 4 years to sign with them. Another was like only last year. So since 2016 till now, I'm trying to get them. The convincing for the publisher was before 2017. It started 2016 because I was preparing for this. So since 2015, I was attending all the book fairs that happens in UAE, in Egypt, recently Saudi Arabia, Lebanon, and I used to go to their offices. Like I used to go to Beirut like 2-3 times a year. I used to go to Egypt, just jumping from one office to another, talking to publishers, pitching here and there, and literally a sales cycle would take like 3 to 4 years.
Wow. And you mentioned like in an earlier question about how you really got to understand the publishing business as well. I mean, what do you need to do to structure the deal in a way that's acceptable to them? I mean, how did you approach that?
Talk to them a lot. Like I used to stay in a meeting for more than 3 hours, talking, listening, asking, like what you do in a podcast, I would do with a publisher, but privately, like asking about every single detail. How did you start? Who's the owner? What's the pain? And I wouldn't be like interviewing. I would be really feeling with them. Well, I love books, and probably each publisher, I have read a couple of their books. I know a couple of their authors. I used to go to book clubs even before Abjjad. So I'm kind of I kind of know what they're doing, and it used to show in my face when for example, Ghassan Kanafani is one of my favorite authors. So when I went to the publisher of Ghassan Kanafani, and they told me about the story of getting his writings and reading them, and they know his wife, and it used to show. I used to shine when I hear the story. So when they see how much that kind of makes me very interested and very happy, and I want to ask more and more and more, they would want to talk, and this whole chemistry between me and them turned out into trust and wanting to deal with us more, because they can see that there's something different. So it's a combination of passion and me loving this a lot, and they sense that because they are also creative people, and I mean, running a publishing house is one of the hardest thing that you can do in your life, and they chose to do it. So we kind of share the same thing, and running a tech startup in the Middle East is one of the toughest and hardest thing. So we kind of share the same pain too.
Right. And you can't fake that. I mean, you can't fake interest. You have to really, you know,
Yeah,
be
yeah,
interested, and people feel that, and they connect with that.
yeah.
So going to the other side of the equation, like the readers and the subscribers as they are now, how do you grow Abjad? How do you acquire new ones? How do people find out about you now today?
Now, we continued with the influencers marketing, but this time we're paying. It's
Yeah,
not like me going and headhunting and begging for people to talk about us for free.
yeah,
So we continued with this. Actually, we did this when it was like unknown, like in 2017.
yep,
Influencers marketing wasn't like something that people know about, but I would say we were among the first, let's say in our area, in our region, to start talking to those influencers and pay for
hmm,
them, and try to get people from different regions. We worked on our SEO, of course, to get more organic traffic,
yep,
and we did all kind of, also community building through the Facebook groups that talks about books, the Twitter accounts that talks about books. We worked on Snapchat and TikTok for to reach to an untouched audience,
hmm,
also through influencers. So we do a lot of campaigns, trying to be creative, like discounts campaigns, and we get exclusive content from the publishers to get the book on Abjad before it's printed.
nice,
Authors are very the best influencers. Like when one of
of course,
their books is out, he would organically talk about it. One of the things that caused 100% growth over 1 month, like we doubled over
wow.
one, was because of an author who talked about us organically, Bilal Fadl.
Oh, nice, wow,
You know
that's
him.
yeah, of course.
So, so this is why the beginning when we were talking and you were asking me how are things going, I was telling you
Hmm,
that I learned that you can't control everything because, yeah,
yep,
at the end we were
just
working
do the
and
hard work.
working and doing, and the thing that caused this was something that happened organically. Hala, if we weren't working hard, would that still happen organically? I think not, of course, because
Right,
we were knocking all the doors and trying to get users from all different platforms. We actually, Bilal Fadl knew about us, and because he knew about
yep,
us, he talked about us, and because he talked about us, we got this organic growth.
nice. He has a huge audience, of course.
Yeah, of course.
So okay, looking back at your story, kind of, and the suffering at the beginning, and not having revenue and all that, do you think you it could have gone another way, or should you have been thinking about revenue generation earlier in your story, but you didn't know that that was the case?
لا لا I knew طبعا إن revenue is يعني it's ABC any business that you need revenues, but I think that the business model that we had in mind was too optimistic, this marketplace thing.
Right.
And I didn't kind of go to the publishers at an earlier stage. I was really
Hmm.
focused on the readers and the community. So I could have learned that this is not the business model to go after way before
Hmm.
we went for it, and I traveled and I started talking to publishers, and we kind of had a semi implementation for this business model. So I think that
Right.
I was late to knock the doors of the publishers. The first ever
Yeah.
meeting with publishers was in September 2014, and I started Abjad in May 2012. So it
Yeah.
took me two and a half years to knock the door of the publisher, which is wrong.
Yeah.
I should have focused on the publisher as much as I was focusing on the users, on the readers.
Yeah. Or at least very quickly thereafter. I mean, as soon as you have the readers on
Very
board,
quick.
go knock on the publishers.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
much quicker. Yeah.
Okay. So, any exciting stuff in the Abjad roadmap coming up? Is there anything new that's happening?
The most exciting right now is that we finally have a head of product, and I was acting as the product manager for the past 11 years, and while doing everything else, so I was only giving it like 30% of my attention. So now having someone who has 100% of his attention on this, and now
Mm-hmm.
that we became like a popular application, and users are loving it, so the optimization of the product at this stage needs a lot of creativity, a lot of uh, analyzing competitors, a lot of optimization of details that were for us, we didn't think that we would reach there. مثلا now that we have done it all, and the subscription is working, and it's growing, and it's kind of happening, and now publishers reach out to us, and we say no, we don't want to deal with you. خلاص الآية قلبت. It's like
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
different now. We're in a different stage. So now we can think about a recommendation model, how to integrate some AI into it, how to optimize more and more on the discovery of the content, how to increase the retention of the user, how to all these kind of things where for us it wasn't the time. It was never the time.
Yeah.
We're always fire shooting, and we're always
Yeah.
trying to grow, and we're always trying to fix problems. But
Right.
now, like actual problems are happening. But now we
Yeah.
we will actually think. We have the time to think and to excel, and now we have a lot of data, and we can provide this data get use it, and provide it, and become like the generator for data in the Arab world about reading, who reads what and when and how much, and what's the interest, and where's the wave is going, what's trendy. So it's pretty interesting that we now can think about more creative stuff that would really be like different than just running the business to generate revenue, to grow, to live, to survive.
Yeah.
Now
Survival.
the survival mode. Now
Yeah.
we're definitely uh, gonna have the capacity to go beyond survival.
That's great. It's great. And I so feel the power of the data you have and the ability, to build
Yeah,
recommendation engines
of
and
course.
you can take it to the next level with the users and it'll add a lot of value to them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, going away from the technology and maybe an influencer or an author writing about you and giving you huge growth, I have a feeling that COVID must have also had like a big
Oh my
effect on
God,
you.
of course, of course. I always say it took a pandemic for two things. For actually three things, but the third is very personal. For publishers to actually realize that digital is where to go, and you can't dismiss it. Many
Yep, yep.
publishers that were the 4 or 5 years cycle, a lot of it ended in 2020 actually. We
Yep.
actually signed with
I
them
can
in 20,
imagine.
although I was talking to them since 2015. So it took a pandemic
Hmm.
for publishers to realize the importance of digital. And it took a pandemic for investors to actually realize that digital content is something as trendy and sexy as fintech. Because all the investors' money were going to fintechs and gaming and stuff. And we
Yep.
had like a hard time raising being content and stuff like that, and community. So we actually Series A was done in 2020. I raised 1
Yep.
million
Yep.
in a lockdown. And the third thing that is personal, that my mother finally is convinced to pay her invoices online. Electricity invoice. invoice.
Yeah.
I was telling her that can use online payment through your bank account. You don't need to go there to pay to
Yep.
pay your sorry, the bills, not the invoices, her bills. So now she's now convinced,
Finally.
now does it online. So it took a pandemic and a lockdown for three things to
For
happen.
all these things to happen in your life. Luckily, they're all positive things. So, I mean, that's good. Okay. Now going back to again, like the idea of having a co-founder and then, or a technical maybe lead, and having them leave. Yes, it seems that it's you guys have managed it well and it's really good, but of course it's hard, so I mean, if you could go back in time and give yourself advice about how to go about the idea of finding a co-founder,
Yeah.
what would be the advice you give yourself?
First of all, get more co-founders,
Mm.
because being a solo founder is horrible. And second of all, get more money. I mean, our seed investment was $15,000. So currently, the seed investments are like 100K, and at times it's a million. And there's pre-seed and seed, and our seed
Yep.
was $15,000, and we managed to the second round. We got it in 2014 January. So you're talking about 2 years of living on a $15,000. So I spent all my savings. I was like
Yep.
uh, at level zero or minus zero
Yeah.
financially. And third thing is, of course, listen to your customer earlier. It's not only the publishers, حتى the users. Since day one, they were asking us how to read the book, and we were like stubborn. We are a community building,
We don't want your money.
don't want you to read books. We were so stubborn when it comes to that. So more flexibility and more listening to
Yeah.
to clients and users would have saved us a lot of time and money.
Yeah, that's all great advice. And I mean, you seem to have like feel the pain of being a solo founder. What are the challenges of being a solo founder?
You can't just have a nervous breakdown and cry. It's just not something that you can do. Even when you have a nervous breakdown, you'll have it all alone, and you'll just fix it very fast, and then just got on your feet and continue doing what you're doing. When you have a co-founder, that allows you to, someone would be like having the good, because you can't always have this energy all the time, and your energy will fall down. It's a roller coaster of energy up, energy down. So when you're down, he or she will be up, and we kind of motivate each other. You can have your nervous breakdown and be crying for like a week or so while they would handle things, and then they are allowed to have like a week of nervous breakdown, and you can handle things. You can they always say that the founder and CEO backslash CEO job is a very lonely job.
Yep.
So what makes it less lonely is actually having those co-founders. Even if you have like a team, and of course a team is a bless, and you can always talk to your team, and the team would handle things with you and stuff like that. But when it comes to so many other things, the disappointment from talking to investors, the disappointment that happens when you try
Yep.
to sell, the rejection emails, you can't share all that with the team,
Yep.
so you need co-founders to kind of share this thing.
To share the pain.
Yeah, it's so lonely and harsh.
Yeah.
To be a solo founder.
Okay. Let's leave that sad note and go to something else.
Yeah.
You raised a round of equity crowdfunding, like from over 40 investors. So what made you go down that path? How did that happen?
Because content and communities, as I told you, it wasn't trendy and sexy for the investors. It's actually a turn off for investors. Investors didn't want that. When we started Abjjad, everyone
had no other choice.
I didn't have another choice. I had to go to the tough path, because investors were so obsessed at the beginning with e-commerce. And when they realized that e-commerce isn't really working in the Middle East, and and things weren't as good as they thought would be at the beginning, everyone wanted us to be e-commerce, and maybe that's why I was influenced to do this marketplace, because I was
Yeah.
also brainwashed that the only thing that would work is e-commerce.
Right.
So I was kind of brainwashed to do this marketplace thing, and then the trend becomes the gaming industry, and then the fintech industry, so content was never something trendy, except for now. Now
Mhm.
it is. Now people
Yep.
are thinking of digital content as something that is trendy and sexy for investors, and it's kind of
Mhm.
let's check for that. But at the beginnings, we didn't have that.
Yeah, we have the pandemic to thank for that again.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what do you recommend? I mean, since you did an equity crowdfunding, what are the best practices for doing something like this, in your opinion, from your experience?
um like to have like 30-40% of the round guaranteed before you kick off your campaign. So you
Right.
can create word of mouth from that. For example, يعني it's all a game of word of mouth. You know, now we reach 5%. Oh my God, we reached 10%. Oh my God, now we're at 40. Only the 90 days left. يعني, it's like a game.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
you need to have the 30% guaranteed before you start, because the 30% will bring you the 70%.
Right.
And this is almost what happened to us.
Yeah. So you reached out to the people in your kind of
Yeah.
mentorship sphere, people in the reader community.
Users, a lot of
Yeah.
users has invested, friends, family, investors, mentors, anyone.
Yeah. Hmm. And get that ready so that you kick off with a bang.
Yeah, so you can kick off with that and get some names that people are familiar with. So you would say
Hmm.
that XYZ invested. So why don't you come and invest to add some credibility? So yeah, you need that to make it happen,
Right.
and of course you need like a nice video that is short and would just get the message out, and you need to put yourself out there, uh,
Hmm.
uh, talking to investors, because some of them would want to talk to you before they actually transfer the money. So
Yep.
you need to make yourself fully available. So for 90 days, I was like extremely and fully available for the campaign.
Okay. Cool. So on the subject of fundraising, you raised as you mentioned, like the Series A round, like well into the pandemic, December, I think, 2020,
Hmm.
right? $1
Yeah, yeah,
million.
yeah.
Yeah. So what are the goals you have uh, based on this round of financing? What do you want to achieve with this money, or what have you been working on?
Yeah, of course. We reached like 160% growth in revenues between 2021 to 2022. So how did that happen? Actually, by investing a lot in the product itself, because the product has issues.
Mhm.
It had issues in 2020.
Mhm.
So the whole subscription thing needed revisiting, and a lot of payment gateways needed to be introduced. Like we introduced Stripe, Fawry for Egypt, all the digital wallets in Egypt, Vodafone Cash and stuff. Stripe,
Yep.
so it would like accept all kind of credit cards and Visa cards in the region. We needed to introduce semi-annual and annual subscription. We needed to kind of redesign the whole landing experience, the homepage of the app, and we needed to kind of be much faster in the digitization of the content, and so we needed a much bigger content team, so the content pipeline would just flow easier, and we needed
Mhm.
to spend in marketing, so people would understand who are we and what are we doing, and why would I pay if there's PDF for free, and what is a subscription model. as a start. So we spend a lot in product, and uh, a little bit in marketing, and a little bit in content.
Right. And what was the process of doing this fundraise? How did you go about it?
In what terms?
I mean, like you told me in the equity crowdfunding, you already had like people
Yeah,
sold on it, and you did all
yeah,
this. I mean, did you for
yeah. So
Series A? What's different, and what are the Series A investors looking for? And
yeah, so the key word for the fundraise is to have a lead investor. You need a lead
right,
investor who has the guts to lead fully, due diligence, legal, financial, technical, understand the business with you, be all in with you, pitch with you. And so I was lucky to have this lead investor.
hmm,
طبعا it's not only luck, it's luck. You know how luck
yeah,
dances around the hard work. So I knocked
yeah, yeah,
1,000 doors till my door was knocked, and I was reached out by a lead investor that I've never knocked their door.
interesting, yeah,
So he came to us, he did his research, he was interested in what we're doing, and he was like, I am interested in leading this round.
nice,
So when that happened, it worked out. Before that,
yeah,
I was just knocking
yeah,
doors, either not hearing an answer or hearing a yes that then doesn't go anywhere, or hearing a no, or it's it's like a lot of checking and talking and going back and forth, and
yeah.
it's a horrible process.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's very rare when you meet a founder who says, "I love fundraising." It just doesn't it
Yeah,
doesn't happen a lot.
it's painful. Yeah, it's
Uh,
painful.
yeah, it is. So you mentioned now when you were talking about what you were doing with this round that you had to your marketing had to convince people to pay for the PDF, so to speak. How did you
Yeah.
do that? I mean, what did you tell them? How did you figure out the message?
First of all, we did a lot of campaigns that talks about what is the difference between PDF and ebook, because there's
Mm,
a big difference. An ebook is something that you can highlight and search and increase the font, and it has an amazing reading experience, while the PDF is an image, and most of
yep,
the time
yep,
it's scanned, and sometimes it misses some pages. Come on, yani it has a
yeah.
missing content. So we had to do a lot of campaigns to tell people what is the difference between PDF and ebook.
Hmm.
And the next thing is to get people to use it. The best thing that worked is actually to give people a lot of promo codes to use it for free.
Hmm.
Just use it for free, get hooked, love it, and then you'll pay for it. So this is
Yep,
this is
yep.
what worked the most. Like, use it for free.
Interesting.
Go on, use it for free. We don't want money now. We don't want revenue. Just use it, use it, use it. Abuse it.
Yeah.
Take promo codes a couple of times. Do whatever you want, but uh, realize the difference. When they started to realize the difference, they started to talk about it. The word of mouth has brought the rest of the people.
Right. So going on a different note, I mean, a bit away from Abjad in a direct way, you've been tweeting recently about the importance of being present. Tell me
Yeah.
more about that.
Well, I've kind of realized how much your mental health is a priority,
Hmm.
and this whole journey of the startup, the biggest thing that you kind of sacrifice is your mental health.
Hmm.
And I've been through a lot of difficult times to try to manage all this and remain the hero that's doing all that, and I, at the same time, not focusing on really, as an entrepreneur and a founder, you always think about the 3-5 next years. 5 next year, your financial projections, how much you want to grow, what you're gonna do, who are you gonna hire, the team, the future, and that really, really, really drains you. It's very stressful to keep thinking about what's next and the future, and you kind of lose touch with reality and where are you now and the present moment and all that. So it's kind of getting into me. And now that I saw what happened to Abjad, and that a lot of the hard work that you do, it pays in a different place. I don't know how to explain to you. Just like the investors, I knocked all the doors, and at the end, the investor that came on his own. Fab.
Yep.
You kind of it's a spiritual awakening, let's say, something like that. That sometimes the universe just has its way of doing things that we need to really focus on it. Not only when you're on a vacation and relaxing, but also when working, and also when running your life and your startup and the work and
Yeah.
everything. So I'm starting to really read more into these things. Psychology and all that has always been the biggest interest in my life. To read
Mhm.
about it, talk to people about it. Now it's getting more and more into like focusing more on what's happening now, and your mental health, and focusing on what's happening is something that we kind of lose touch in with this very fast life that we live in. And add to it a
Yep.
startup, it makes it like you're running a marathon all the time. So
Yep.
I always need something to ground me. So
Mhm.
reading and the talking about the present moment always gets me in a better state of mind.
Yeah. Um, I I agree with you, of course. And I've saw also you've been putting quotes from Gabor Mate. I guess
Yeah,
you look like you're reading his latest book.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the Cosmic. Yeah, and I I haven't read it yet, but I heard him on the Tim Ferriss podcast. He was really, really deep and
He's my new discovery. And
yeah, he's quite a guy.
I've recently, one of my friends mentioned him in front of me, and
Hmm.
I've kind of got obsessed with him. And I watched his documentary. I'm currently reading his book.
Yep.
And he's really something, and always an entrepreneur thinking. But I was thinking that why isn't all his stuff translated to Arabic? So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pitch him for one of the publishers in the art publishers, that
Yeah.
I think that all the stuff he's writing about and talking about
Yeah.
has to be translated into Arabic. Yeah.
Yeah. I would also recommend you listen to his episode with Tim Ferriss on that podcast.
Yeah, I heard that he has a nice
Yeah,
podcast.
it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, his episode with Tim Ferriss was Tim Ferriss. I recorded with him. It was really good. They went. They touched a lot of the things you might like. Anyway, uh, yeah, if I remember, I'll send it to you.
and
Inshallah.
please do, please do.
All right. On the subject of like reading books, and some would say the books are less and less relevant. I mean, the idea of spending like days reading hundreds of pages, while
Yeah,
you can follow the best expert on the subject and they'll be blogging like 2 or 3 page articles about it, or
yeah.
maybe a 60-second TikTok video that says, really cool things and all that. I mean, what do you think about that? You think it'll be less relevant?
No, no, no. I always say that whenever you get passionate about something new, and forget about, for example, startups or anything. Like
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel Mate, you got obsessed about him. You would find that there's a whole audience and the whole world revolving around this new subject that they are talking about, and you never knew it actually exists. So
Mm-hmm.
there's always audience for every single thing that you would know about, things that you would never imagine that there's even an industry that's talking about it. So as much as the attention span of the new generation is getting shorter and shorter, with all the TikToks and Snapchats and the reels and the 2 second things and the 10 second things, but a book is a book, and a book is always, I say that a book is always the source of every other media. It starts with a book and it becomes a movie, sometimes a song when it's poems, sometimes something like a series. It can be, from a book, you can get a bunch of reels and TikToks talking about a subject that you have read in a book, podcasts, documentaries. But when you think about it, mostly, it's like 80% of the times, the source of that, all this media, was a book and an author.
Or several books.
Yeah, like Gabriel Mette, yani, his books actually brought him to do now a documentary, a podcast. People are interviewing him. I'm sure there's going to be a center somehow talking about his philosophy and how to. I think he's very much into the addiction and how to solve the addiction problems for people.
Yeah.
So a book is always the source of these things, and a lot of there's always an audience, even if it's a niche market. But even a niche market is a big market. Now the word niche market, people think that it's always a small thing. No, a niche market is actually a big market. But you need to know how to reach to them. Those niche markets would always want to know the source of the thing. Like me, I'm not interested in this man. I heard him. I saw a couple of YouTube videos. I saw his documentary. But nothing at all would actually satisfy my curiosity unless I read one of his books. And this is why currently I'm reading one of his books, because everything else for me is nice. Yeah, hello, a documentary is nice. But if I don't dive into his mind and read every single detail that he wrote, I would never be satisfied. And I'm not the only person. There's a huge bunch of people just like me. And add to it another thing, that reading by itself is also entertaining, because you can be reading a fiction novel that talks about whatever, something that's totally fictional, and it would be like a page turner, and you wouldn't be able to sleep unless you read it. So it's turning into also something just like watching a movie.
Yeah, it's as much better in my opinion.
Yeah, so no, I don't think so. And I don't think that even the digital books would actually kill the print books. It's, what happens to newspapers is not going to happen to books. Book is something else. A book is something else. It's the best gift. It's something tangible and close to your heart. Digital and audio and stuff like that just made it easier for people to consume content and to reach to content, and more affordable. But a print book is going to remain there, and it's going to remain important, and I don't think it would ever disappear.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, through the lens of Abjjad, you have an eye, like on the diverse cultures in the Arab world, because kind of you're seeing what they're consuming, and in terms of reading and things like that. And you mentioned during our conversation, there were differences. So what's different between these different countries, and what's common from your vantage point?
Literature is always common between the different Arabic countries and in the world. Literature, be it novels is the most popular part of this literature thing that people would love. It's very common worldwide. No one would disagree on this. What's different, for example, I noticed that, for example, the self-help translated business books into Arabic they have a lot of interest in the Gulf region for that. They have a lot of interest to read the foreign books in Arabic, whether it's self-help, it's psychology, business books. There's a lot of interest there. While in the North Africa and Egypt and North Africa, uh, they do have interest in translation, but more of the literature translation. So they like the Turkish literature, the Russian literature, when it's translated into. But the translation by itself is something that really, really interests the Arabic speaking user. It's kind
Okay.
of introduce them to different cultures and make them explore the world through the
Hmm.
translation of the different authors. So it
Yeah.
is like something really. But
So,
yeah, philosophy is
is there
something that
anything common? Oh, philosophy. Sorry.
philosophy
Go ahead.
is becoming trendy
Yeah.
all over the Arabic region. Like people are noticing the importance of philosophy, understanding it. Some authors are actually writing for the ABC of philosophy, like for people,
Hmm.
because the word philosophy sounds heavy and like no one understands it. So I saw like authors are started to write about it in a way that is very simple, to simplify it, so it can be a
Hmm.
start for people to go then to the deeper stuff.
Interesting. Did you find things that are common across the Arab world, other than liking literature? Is there
Um,
like,
maybe I think philosophy is becoming like common between them. Yeah,
hmm,
it's starting more in the Gulf and Saudi Arabia, but I can see that it's happening also in Egypt
starting to spread?
yeah, it started to expand. Yeah,
Interesting.
and of course psychology, but that can easily be put under the umbrella of self help.
Yeah.
I see it kind of expanding too, kind of expanding. Yeah, yeah, I can see that Egypt is becoming is noticing this trend, and some Egyptian publishers are starting to do that too.
Got it. Okay. I mean, if you were starting a startup now and it wasn't Abjad, what do you think you think are the opportunities now you would work
Um. Uh. First of all, I don't think I would be crazy enough to go to start another startup again. I think
on?
I've
Okay.
had enough from all the startup world and all what's happening. But but if I am to be crazy enough to start something new, and I think what's trendy now, or maybe because what I'm passionate about now, but I can see that the world is becoming more aware, is the mental health, something
Hmm.
really mental health.
Okay. So I see a pattern here,
And
which is that you,
let's say يعني مش إنه mental health يعني
yeah,
أجيب a bunch of psychiatrists to give you medication.
yeah,
لا, it's actually the total opposite of that. It's more of self discovery,
positive psychology, so to speak. Yeah.
yeah, psychology, stuff like that. Yeah.
Interesting. So I was just going to say that I see a pattern here, which is that you're always looking for places, things you're passionate about, rather than looking
Exactly.
where the
Yeah.
money is.
Yeah.
So no
Yeah.
fintech
Yeah.
ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I'm so bad at like jumping after an opportunity only because it generates money. I can't do
yeah.
that. If I'm not passionate about it, I can't do it. Unless it's something that I'm doing it on my own, standalone, like investing, or I don't know, something that would get
Yeah.
set something, or, but I wouldn't like be able to create a team and have advocates and stuff if I wasn't like really passionate about it.
Okay. Fair enough. And so, I mean, uh, you were just saying about how crazy it would be to start a startup,
Yeah.
so what advice would you give someone who was thinking of starting a startup? I mean, why not to start a startup?
If you're starting this because it's cool and because it's a trend and because of you think that you're gonna be like working flexible hours and be your own boss, don't do it, because you're not working flexible hours unless flexible hours means 24/7. This is the flexible hours. Unless it means that you're gonna wake up in the middle of the night and start working on something because it just gives you a lot of anxiety that you can't sleep. And if you're not hard worker, like really, 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 really hard worker, it wouldn't happen. So if you're someone who likes to enjoy life, don't do it. Because the first years, you're going to give up enjoying life.
Mm.
So
Or you have to find joy in the work itself. I'm trying to,
yes,
put a
that's
positive
why
twist
I
on it.
always do things I'm passionate about because
Yeah.
at the end it's gonna become a really big thing in your life. Like, so
Yep.
if you don't like it, your life would be you'll be miserable.
Great advice.
So yeah,
No, go
I
ahead.
think that only like 10% of the population should be the entrepreneurs in the world,
Mm.
and the rest shouldn't be. And those 10% should have a lot of support mentally and financially and from the 90% of the world.
Uh, okay, so I mean, you were just mentioning that as a founder, I mean, you don't have a direct boss. That's good, of course, but how do you motivate yourself? How do you decide what you do next?
Actually, that's not true. Everyone is your boss. My publishers are all my bosses. I mean, a
Uh-huh.
publisher can make me work in a weekend if he wants to, because he's my client, and if he needs something or if something is upsetting them or whatever, I would be there for them. So I think that my clients are my boss. I think my team also, each one of them is my boss on his own, because I mean يعني I don't know how to translate that, بس خادم القوم سيدهم. I really believe in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
sentence.
Yeah.
So
This is roughly translated as the servant of people is their leader, so to speak.
yes,
So I
yes,
mean, and there
exactly.
is this like concept in Western management science of servant leadership, by the way. So,
Yeah.
but that's
So
a more recent thing to the yeah.
and I'm a typical servant leader. That this is the first time to hear this concept. Thank you for mentioning it. I'm a typical servant leader. So I serve my team.
Mhm.
I serve my clients. I serve my board and my investors. So uh, b- I've never felt like I don't have a boss. I feel that everyone is my boss. So
So that keeps you energized, huh?
energized,
You have
and
to get out of
also
bed for them, right? For your boss.
yeah, exactly. Also sometimes pressured and stressed, and because you speak differently to each one of them, so it's like being a different person with each one. A user, a reader is not like an author, not like the publisher, not like a team member, not like a board member. So it's a lot of pressure. So talking about not to start your startup is that you need to be you need to serve all the time. So if you're starting this because you think you're gonna be the boss, you're not the boss. Everyone else is the boss.
Mhm.
You're just serving, and you're just
Yeah.
coordinating and creating harmony. You're not bossing anyone, by the way. Everyone is bossing you. So
So
it's
you
a
better
very
believe in the mission.
yeah. You better believe in the mission. Yeah, yeah, of course.
So okay, on a different track. First of all, I want to do a time check. Is it we're a little over scheduled, but I'm enjoying the conversation. Do you mind if we talk a little more?
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure,
I
sure.
appreciate that. All right. So okay, going back. Going on a different track about the Jordanian ecosystem. What are the major characteristics of the Jordanian startup ecosystem in your opinion?
See, we had golden ages, and I would call now the dark ages.
Oh.
We had the golden ages, and we were like Jordan was on the top at first. Like Osama Fayyad
Mhm.
started Oasis 500. It was the first incubator ever. The king himself actually motivated this, supported this. The richest people in Jordan were very much supporting all that, and it was like the golden ages, really. And I'm so lucky to be a part of this back then. Then life happened, and we have like a lot of competition, like Egypt, UAE, Saudi Arabia. They started booming with a lot of startups, investors, incubators, accelerators, and I think that they have started later than Jordan, but made it faster.
Mm.
So now we are behind because we were not fast enough in let me say consistent. We were not consistent.
Okay.
So so I see that things are uh, uh, um, I think that things were better before.
Right. Okay, that's fair enough. And despite all that, I mean, you have a lot of Jordanian entrepreneurs that are pretty good. It's just for our listeners, not. I mean, Jordan is not is one of the smallest in terms of population. I mean, it's not a
Yeah,
huge
yeah,
population
yeah.
in the Arab world. Definitely, it's punching above its weight, so to speak. In that sense,
Yeah.
what do you think is what are the key things? And of course, it's not oil rich. You don't have capital, a lot of capital, like
No, no.
the UAE and Saudi Arabia, for example. So, I mean, what do you think are the biggest things that are doable that need to be done
In
for the
Jordan,
ecosystem? Yeah.
in Jordan in specific. Yeah.
Yes. In Jordan, yes.
I think the whole environment of the country needs to be investment friendly, more investment friendly.
Yeah.
The laws of starting a company,
The legal aspect. Yeah.
yeah. I think the legal aspect is not very needs to be optimized. Yeah. Updated, optimized. Yeah. For people to, because as a country, the infrastructure is so good. I mean, starting a bank account, our internet connection. I'm sure this is a very huge problem in Egypt and in Lebanon, for example. Our infrastructure in terms of country, it's a safe country, it's a calm country, it's a country where I would think it's the best country to have the kitchen of your startup to be set up there. I mean, it's not
Mm-hmm.
a country that you can target as a market, not at all. You need to target, if you're targeting Arabic speakers, you need to target Egypt and Saudi Arabia and Algeria and all the big countries. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a great country to have your back office in there, your kitchen, all the operations, everything, because we have an infrastructure and it's a small country and it's calm, and we don't have this issue of the big countries of traffic and people living in a very fragmented places, and you can't like really. It's very easy to meet with your team. It's very easy to meet with people in Jordan. I mean, in
Yep.
Egypt, it's like it's a nightmare just to meet up with a couple of your friends.
Yep.
Each one is living like an hour away. And same thing, by the way, in Saudi Arabia, Riyadh is huge, and you need
Yeah.
to drive a lot, and UAE has a lot of traffic. So infrastructure wise, I think Jordan is excellent, but the environment is not investment friendly in terms of the legal stuff and the whole setup and all these kind of stuff. Although we have very talented people, and I think this is
Mm-hmm.
because of education. We have information technology was in our education at an earlier stage than any other country in the Arab world. And this
Yeah.
is why a lot of software houses actually started in Jordan first, and people were targeting Jordan's software engineers. But what
Mm-hmm.
happened is Egypt was faster than us, and in Egypt they introduced information technology maybe at a later stage than Jordan, but they were consistent and faster, and that made the whole information technology become in Egypt. So, for example, now the Abjjad software engineers are all in Egypt
Uh-huh.
because we couldn't find any
Interesting.
more in Jordan. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all actually either leaving or getting a better offers in
Yeah.
Europe,
Or
and
very expensive. Yeah.
they're very expensive. So I think Jordan has been always good in the start, but the consistency makes it always go behind afterwards.
Mhm. Okay, that's great advice. So, and what would you like to change about the startup ecosystem in the Arab world? What would be the thing you want to change?
I don't know if the word is I can say it in a podcast, so feel free to make it toot if you like. But I think that we have to cut off bullshitting a lot. A lot of bullshitting has
Uh-huh.
to cut. I mean,
Okay.
they are raising a generation of delusional entrepreneurs. Like,
Mm.
really,
Can you tell
they're,
me more? I mean, in
yeah,
what sense are they delusional?
you know that I'm now rejecting 95% of any request to be on a panel in an event, to participate in a startup thing. And if it wasn't you, I wouldn't have even agreed on doing this podcast because I'm really sick of all the bullshit that's happening in the ecosystem of the startup world in the Arab world. I mean, they're really delusional. They're talking about something that doesn't exist. They're building this generation of people that don't understand what does it take to really make a product succeed. What they're trying to copy Silicon Valley, and we're not Silicon Valley. Uh, the market
Mm.
that you're targeting is not the American market. You're
Yeah,
targeting a
it's much
market
harder.
that doesn't have credit cards. They don't
Yeah.
they fear paying online, you know, and
Yeah.
you're comparing this to the American market where you're not considered a citizen if you don't have a credit card. Like literally
Yeah.
you need to have a credit card to be living there. So
Yeah.
so don't you need they're comparing this to that, and they want us to make Amazon and Facebook and Netflix, and while I mean the talents that we have here are different than the talents out there, and the market here is different than the market there, and
Yeah.
everything
And the needs are different, probably. Yeah.
the needs is different, everything is different. So stop this big lies about that we need to copy them, and the way the whole fundraising is happening, and the millions and millions of money that's going to places that you don't know why are they going there, and a couple of years later you wouldn't hear about the startup anymore. The cash burning, the crazy cash burning that is happening
Mm.
only to get the PR of we raised 20 million, we raised 30 million. Where is it going? Why are we not using the products that they are doing actually?
Mm.
So
To me, I mean, so someone like in this specific point, I mean, somebody might respond, well, this happens all over the world. I mean, this is what the venture capital world is. You place big bets on companies, and some of them will fail and some will succeed, but you need to think big, because this is what venture capital is about. It's not like a bank loan or something like that. It's something that there is risk inherent in it, and there is kind of big
but
dreaming and
can't you
things
see
like that.
that even that is actually showing that it has been wrong, and and they're doing that less now. Now even in Silicon Valley, they're finally becoming revenue focused, and they're talking about revenue much more than traffic
Yeah.
and traction. So so they realized, kind of maybe realized their mistake.
Hmm.
So, and it is
Yeah.
backfiring. I mean, we can see a lot of bubbles that are disappearing. So,
Yeah.
so I think that if anything, we should learn from what's happening in the world, not copy
Hmm.
what is happening, and also what doesn't make sense just doesn't make sense. So no matter how they sugarcoat it, it just doesn't make sense to be burning that much cash
Right.
and irresponsibly.
On something unproven. Yeah.
Yeah, and something that, yeah, exactly. And when you have like really really good, excellent kind of startup that are adding value, and they do have a product that is working, they have a hard time raising, while people who are doing nothing, they are like raising much easier. You can see that
Yeah.
there's a lot of bullshit happening,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's a lot of nonsense is happening. So we need to yeah, I can see that a lot of startups has stopped working, shut down, or whatever, although they're much better than a lot of startups that they are just raising, because they
Mhm.
don't know how to bullshit as much as the rest.
So, okay, I mean, let's take the other side of that. Let me ask you, I mean, what are the characteristics of the best investors in your opinion?
That's a very good question. That if the investor is only someone who has money and he wants 10, 20 years later to get his return on investment, to just put the money and do not try to direct the entrepreneur into any place, because you just admit and acknowledge that you do not understand this world and you're just interested in return on investment. Full stop. This is one kind of silent investor who is supporting you financially, full stop. But the problem is that a lot of the investors who has the money and don't understand the startup, the industry of that startup, the tech industry, because they have access to funds, they think they have to be involved or direct the entrepreneur or pressure them or have a word in how to run the company. Yani, I wish that investors would acknowledge when they don't understand something, to just don't try to give advices or try to pressure the entrepreneur into doing something only because you are the investor.
Mhm.
The other, this is, oh, and by the way, this is a good kind of investment, because also a lot
Mhm.
of the things that they were brainwashing us with is, get a strategic investor, get an investor who would understand, don't only go after cash. I mean, what's wrong with going after cash? I mean, I'm the entrepreneur, I'm the founder, I understand the business, I know what I need. I need to acquire talents who would run this thing with me, and those talents are expensive. So what's wrong with
Mhm.
having an investor that is would only provide you with cash, and I have the mind and what it takes to run it? Leila, why should it have to be because if you want the investor to also be a strategic investor who would add value, who would help you, where should I get this person? Yani, you're looking for one in a million, and also has
Right.
access to funds, and he's rich, or has some way,
A
or
fund.
having a VC or whatever, has access to funds. I mean, you can't find all that. Let's be realistic. There are mentors
Mhm.
that there are consultants that you can pay them. There are mentors who are generous with their time. There are talents that you can hire them for that. Investors are you froze, so I'm not sure if you
Okay.
can still hear me.
What happened?
Yes.
Hey, Eman? Hello? Eman, can you hear me? Hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
لا عادي, I can't hear
I
you.
think you lost your connection. You can't hear me? I can. Weird. Sounds good. All right. So we were interrupted by the internet, I think, and
Talking about
yeah, but exactly. So so you were saying you were talking about the silent, maybe silent investors are a good thing, just having money, and
I mean,
that's it.
yeah, I mean back to basics, because they put a lot of pressure on the entrepreneur to look for like the like really the one in a million, someone who has access to funds, willing to invest, strategic. Strategic means that he works in your niche industry. In my case, it's the publishing and the
Hmm.
whole content and ebooks thing, and someone who would understand tech, startups and technology. So this is a lot to ask for
Uh-huh.
in one person. It's a lot, and you can't just be looking for the one in a million when you need to raise. And another thing, why don't we think about distributing things? You need cash to hire talented team to do this work, which they should be your strategic headhunting kind of talent acquisition, and to build
Hmm.
around you a network of mentors, and to pay maybe sometimes a consultant, and to have like an ecosystem. Why do we have to put all the pressure on a one person who's called investor, who's going to be the hero who understands everything? So an investor, from the name, is someone who would support you financially and
Right.
who would then want a return on his investment. The whole also ecosystem and the startup scene has put the investor in a place where even they can't be what we're asking them to be. We're asking to
Mm.
be everything, basically. Someone who would support, understand, and be into technology, and be into your industry, and be into everything. And an investor in life is someone who would support you financially, and in many cases, he would be a silent partner. And
Yeah.
this is the best case. Now, if you were lucky enough to have this one investor who is strategic, then go for it. But
Mm.
don't be only looking for it. They always tell us, look for smart money. La, look for money and then get people who are smart to hire them and to work for you and to
That
run.
works too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah. I mean, if you were gonna put them in a hierarchy, it'd be smart money, money, and then bad money. But
Yeah,
I don't
bad
want to
money.
think of that. Yeah.
I think just run fast from any bad money, and to be realistic, look for money. And if you were looking and you found a smart money, then you're the luckiest person on earth. But your target should be money,
Right.
and then hire people to run this thing.
Right. Okay. So now, like, going to something maybe from your personal experience. I mean, like, as a female founder in the Arab world, I mean, do you think this handicaps you in any way, or yes, no, how?
The question again, sorry.
As a
Ah,
female founder in the Arab world.
no, I mean, it's the same. I mean, I have a lot of my friends are founders or ex-founders or entrepreneurs everywhere in the world, be it female or male. We all suffer the same. We all have the same challenges. We all suffer the same. I mean, I've never noticed a certain kind of suffering that is gender related when it comes to entrepreneurship. It's always the same.
Okay. So,
Of course,
Iman, go
yeah.
ahead.
Sorry.
No, no, of
And
course, yes. There was a bit of a
those
delay.
kids, that would be different. I don't know, but I think it's equally hard for a father and a mother. I mean, you can hardly be a father and sacrifice that much in
Mm,
your life because you have kids and you need to support and you need to provide. So
yep.
having a startup doesn't allow you all the time to be the provider in the family. So I think
Yeah.
that the difference is, maybe you can ask, maybe because I don't have kids, that made it easier. The difference is, if you have kids, and it's not only gender related, it's the mother and the father.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a father who had this, like, was in this situation, it is a source of kind of pressure in some aspects, but it's also you could say a source of nourishment in some other aspects as well.
Really?
So it kind of balances out.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that's
depends, I
not.
think, on and I was talking with a couple of people, including Ayman, who
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. He said that.
our mentor. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. That it can be a source
Yeah.
of support actually sometimes
Yeah,
when
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
else kind of believes in you. So I mean,
Yeah.
it depends, as everything in life, I guess. So
True.
Ayman,
Very.
5 years from now, what do you
Yeah.
think Abjad will be doing?
Um, what do I think Abjad would be doing 5 years from now? Okay. I think that, 5 years from now, Abjad will be the kind of the one and the only place for anything related to Arabic books when it comes to the digital world, be it digital audio, podcasts. I mean, we will be diving vertically into the books, the Arabic books world,
Hmm.
when it in the digital world, in
Right,
all kind of formats.
got it.
So now we have ebooks. I think we're gonna end up having audiobooks. We're gonna have kids' books, interactive books, podcasts, maybe short movies. Anything that comes out of an Arabic book would be in this application.
Got it. And you made a. We've been going for so long. I'm respectful of your time, but you made a new question occur to me. It's your fault, not my fault. When you said interactive books,
Yeah,
um, how do you think the role of like artificial intelligence? I mean,
yeah,
do you
yeah. I think
do you worry
one,
about it? Yeah,
but not at all. It's
on
gonna
the
be a
contrary,
tool.
huh?
It's gonna be a
Okay.
tool to feel up. It's gonna be a tool. I'm so excited to see artificial intelligence getting into our world more and more, and where we can use it. Whether in our operations, the book digitization can be faster. Whether in the audio, it can scale up with less human effort, and whether I think that I think we're gonna see a lot of interesting stuff,
Yeah,
and I
but
look
what
forward.
about the creation of content? Because some people are now writing articles on
Uh,
GPT.
why would that worry us? I mean, in the content generation, I think that artificial intelligence would be good up to 99%, and there is always a 1% human effort that is needed.
Mm,
So, so I don't think it will, like, kind of do it completely all. There's a sense, touch, that will
hmm.
remain there. There will remain needed in a way. And
Yeah.
even if it went the 100%, why would that worry us? As long as you are a flexible person who would not resist the change in the world, and would go with the flow, and try to create opportunities from that, you would never be killed by technology. The ones who are killed by technology, those who resist. And this is what
Mm,
I was telling my publishers all the time, that the more you resist, the faster you're going to die. So
yeah.
stop resisting, because it's only going to kill you. So
Right.
خلاص, get into the digital world, get into the audio world, get into the AI world. Don't make everything make you fear that the business that you have been running since the 50s and it's a family business, it's now changing. Yeah, it's changing. Yeah, it's changing.
Yeah.
Just change with it. So
Right.
if Nokia has changed fast enough, it wouldn't be killed.
Yeah. It's
So
true.
yeah, and it had
So,
a
I
very
mean,
good.
with
Yeah.
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, with that note, let me go into the quick fire round questions. You just short questions, short answers.
Yeah.
Although in your case, the first question it's usually short, but I don't know if you'll have more of it. But the first question is, what books do you like to recommend to others?
Oh, well, you said it in the beginning of the podcast, and I never get bored of this answer. I mean, if you didn't read Turadu Ashur, please do. And if you've never read ثلاثية غرناطة, go read it now. You're missing a lot in a beauty that will take you to another world, and you can dive into like a week of reading something absolutely beautiful and absolutely brilliant. So go read for her.
Okay. So, how do you unwind and how do you stay energized?
Uh, that's a good question. I unwind by a lot of things. Nature helps a lot. Hiking and traveling and family and friends and yoga and walking. There's a lot of things to unwind the stress inside you. Um, I really love nature, so that really energizes me a lot. How do I energize? Um, in work, specific in Abjjad, through my publishers the most, and my team.
Right. So, through interacting with them.
Yes.
Okay. Third question: how do you think? Who do you think we should host on the podcast?
Who do I think بأورطة يعني هو بس he has been my friend, my mentor, my consultant that I never pay for him, and my brother, Ahmed Jalal Taskiti.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course I know Ahmed. Okay. What question should I have asked you that I didn't?
I think you've done you've done it all يعني we've been talking for like 2.5 hours almost ولا
Yeah,
أقل مش
almost.
عارف.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm two and a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you've got it all. You
Okay.
even know my true interest in life يعني through
Yeah. Okay. So, I'd like to close on a note of gratitude. Thank you for being on the podcast, and to ask you, what is a gift that someone has given you that has had a positive effect on your life?
their time. Their time. The quality time is always the gift that I appreciate the most. Quality time
Oh,
from someone that I love.
okay. Thank you very much, Iman, for being so open and so generous with your time and your thoughts and your experiences.
Thank you, Ali.
Thank you.
Good to see you again, and best of luck in this amazing podcast.
Thank you very much, Iman. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.